Good morning. Welcome back to Orchard Farm. Okay, let's see here. We got another big day ahead of us. And yeah, hang on a second here. Where am I? I was just turning the yard here. I can't imagine trying to get out of this driveway in reverse with the traffic going by. How are we doing there? We're good. Okay. So we had a really late night last night, but it's day 3, and we have our first stage of fertilization on most of our necessary fields. I sort of had to think about it and decided that because of the different volume per acreage that different crops give me, if I just work with the biggest fields and then save the smallest one for potatoes, I think I'll get away with that. So those first 3 big fields in the back corner, we'll work from those. Trust me, there's going to be plenty of work for us to do just with those fields. So, yeah. Anyway, a couple of good things happened last night. After I got done work, I went down to the local pub, met some people, and I got some ideas and I got some help. Managed to buy myself some discount equipment. So like I said, my friend Simulate said he had a bit of gear left around in his yard out here. So he's got this old plow that's going to be just fine for us. And he's got this old seeder back here. He says it hasn't been used in a decade or 2, but it should still work. So I think with a little bit of lubrication, a little bit of work, we're going to be able to get that to work for us. And the plow, well, the plow is a 5-furrow. So I think our UTV will be able to pull this with no problem. Maybe a 6. So yeah, we'll get that. We'll come and get that with the tractor, and then we'll get some plowing done today. Like I said, though, I did set aside 3 to 4 days to do all the plowing I need to do. So the pace of these episodes may slow up a little bit here because I seriously don't think that you guys are going to be into watching me plow those massive fields with a 2-meter plow. So I have my doubts, let's just say. So I'll work on that on my own. By the end of today, I'd like to be into the first field to have that one almost done. As you can see by our money in the upper right-hand corner, once I bought that equipment, midnight rolled around, the bills came in, and we took a bit of a beating. So yeah, it's almost $4,000 a day of expenses just to run this place. The good news is we're up to 109 pigs. So we've got $9,000 of growth there. It's actually a little bit more than that because I think it's $1,200 a pig I get when I sell them back. So anyway, but we're gonna have to feed them before we start our day today. That's gonna be the first job because they're starting to run a little low. They're down to 18% food. I don't know what they were talking about. 3 days worth of food, 3 days worth of feeding. It may be okay for me to leave them there for a little bit longer, but I just assume. Oh, and I figured out my IC control problem. The problem is that I can't do the IC controls without my HUD on. When my HUD is off, you can't run IC controls. So there you have it. Okay, turn that off. So we shall leave that open for a little while. It's a beautiful day. It's a bit chilly this morning at 0 degrees, but that's not a bad working temperature. We're beginning our manure production, so that's the good news. So let's start with this here. Right about so. And Q, and back in we go. Okay, now, first thing we need to do is let's give them the potatoes and the bale of hay. We're going to need the forks for that. Yep. So just grab a bale out of this area here. There you go. It's a little tiny little yard tractor, so it's pretty nice to be able to maneuver it and whip it around here fairly easily. There you go, bale is in. I still have a dream that one day I'll have to, you know, put the bale down and then hit it with a pitchfork to break it. But haven't quite found the right mod for that yet. There we go. Bring those guys with me. The potatoes. The back end of the tractor's feeling a little light, but that's all right. There we go. Give them some potatoes. 600. Well, we still got lots left. This is the other thing too, is it worth going through the expense of planting, seeding, and harvesting potatoes when in actual fact I can buy these crates for almost nothing and feed them from other people's product? So the potato thing might be out. I'm not sure yet. I like the idea of self-sufficiency and of doing a little bit of everything. But if we get pressed for time and I have to sacrifice one culture, one crop, I feel like it's going to be the potatoes that are going to get it. All right, we'll leave this here. Pick up the bucket. Nice and gentle. Come on. There you go. Okay, perfect. Okay. Let's start with the... Is it sunflower or canola we ended up buying? I forget now. Sunflower. There you go. When it comes to feeding pigs, once we get the larger herd, we might have to come up with a different way of carrying this stuff around. This bucket is good for 2,500 units of whatever we need, but I don't know if that's going to serve us all the way through this process. Let's see here. How much is that? Full bucket, eh? Okay. We'll check out our feeding page. See how that works out. Oh yeah, that's lots for now. Okay, let's get the wheat in there. Oh wait, I still got sunflower in there. That's why I can't pick up the wheat. Let's put the sunflower back. I thought we had emptied out the sunflower. The other thing too is once we do our harvest, we may need more room than this to store all this stuff. This is not bad for a starter, but yeah, there may be a bit more space needed. So, oh, wait a minute. Okay. Let's go back here. Okay, oops. This is a little bit heavy on the front right now. Let's just, I think I'm just going to drop this bucket here temporarily and hook on to my weight because the tractor is a little bit tippy. There we go. That's good. And raise it up. Good. Switch to the front. Perfect. So the other person I met last night at the pub was a gentleman by the name of Farmer Klein. Farmer Klein, I'm guessing, is of German ancestry because his idea, immediately, upon hearing my woes about the price of pigs, is to just look at me and tell me, why don't you just process your own pigs? Why don't you just make sausage and meat and do everything else yourself? Now, that would require, oops, one moment, add a bit of weight to the back. There you go, that'll stabilize it. That would necessitate us spending almost $500,000 on the factory and sell point, and we'd need custom trailers and custom everything to be able to do that. So by the time we get around to actually selling pigs in the fall, if we haven't gone through all of our costs, all of our product, and all of our money, that may be an option. Maybe. Again, it's just, I mean, you know, the amount of money we'd have to borrow to pull something like that off would be absolutely massive. Plus, we're farmers, we're not producers, so I don't know. That's a little intimidating. I haven't really done the production thing in Farm Sim 17. It's not something that I've embarked on. I have no idea how the math works for that sort of thing. And just the logistics of it seem a little overwhelming. But Farmer Klein sort of did some testing on it and ran some numbers, and I'm not sure if his numbers are going to reconcile with our numbers because he was doing it in a different place. But if they do, they're very interesting numbers. He was looking at, you know, almost $50,000 for 17 pigs, as opposed to the 23,000 we would get just for selling them to right back to the wholesaler. And again, I mean, yeah, that's all fine and dandy. That's, you know, almost $30,000 extra. But if you're spending $500,000 to begin production, you know, where does that leave you at the end of the day in terms of your bottom line? That's the part that I'm getting, that I would get concerned about. Anyway, open minds, and if that's how we end up doing, that's how we end up doing. But right now, I'm going to see where we're at in the fall when our reproduction rate goes to nothing. And we'll see how many pigs we have. Oh, damn it. Hang on a second. I forgot to put my clock on 5 times. Okay, let's run it at 15 times to catch up. That wasn't so bad. We got all that done pretty quick. And select. And let's select that. Remove that. Select that. Remove some of the weights. Good. Just going to leave these arms over here. Don't need those. And remove that. Might as well leave the weight here too. I have a feeling this is where we're going to use it next. And release that. Good. Okay. Well, let's just double check here. Where are we at? Oh, they could use a little bit of water, but everything else is full. Okay, good. This is the other thing about raising animals, is that you'd like to get to the part of it where you're taking care of the fields, but it doesn't always work that way. Sometimes it takes a couple of hours at the beginning of your day to actually take care of your herd. I didn't back up enough. A little bit more. There you go. Hook that up. Lift the foot so we don't damage anything. Perfect. Okay. Oh, we still got lots of water left in here. Hang on. Straighten out the tanker a bit. Let's see if that empties here. It does. Good. I think I'm just going to end up leaving it here. Lower down the foot. And unhook it. There you go. Good. You guys have water. You have hay. You've got food. Happy piggies. 100% production, I'm hoping. And look at that. We're getting a pig in under 4 hours. So as this builds, by the time we get to 200 pigs, there may be a cascade that makes this all feasible. I don't know. We are going to see it through, though. There's no quitting this game now. We've decided to do it, so we're going to do it. What do I do next? Oh, yes, I got to go get that plow out of that bush. Now, for the next couple of days, all I've got is fuel expenses and time. So I'm going to just plug along. I'm going to let our line of credit take care of it, or our overdraft take care of the money. And then after 3 days, we're going to need to go buy some seed. So, and the seeder that we have doesn't do corn. So we're going to need to rent a seeder. So I got to go talk to my banker. I'm going to have to go talk to him soon. On top of that, all that food we have in the barn is going to run out soon. So, yeah, we're going to need another load of food, which is about $40,000 worth of food to come back in. I certainly can't afford to rent that big truck that we were using the last time. So do I do it? Do I bring 20,000 liters of food at a time in a trailer behind this guy going 27 kilometers an hour? Who knows? By then we may have the time to do it that way. If we're just waiting for the fields to grow, that might be a thing to do. I don't know. I have to admit that the idea that you could fail at Farm Sim is quite attractive to me. So I'm not giving up on this. Failure is an option. And that makes it actually a better game. So where was that plow? Oh, it's in there. Okay. Let's see if I can back up to it without hitting that wagon. Who knows how long this thing has been here. Okay, that looks pretty good right there. Okay, let's see. I'll squeeze through there. Okay, let's go the other way. There we go. Okay. Hook that up. Okay. Nah, it's not a bad little plow. I mean, you know, we'll see what we make out of it. And, okay, so let's just lift it up so we don't drag it through this guy's yard. Yeah. Okay, so nothing is going to happen very quickly. This is all good. Okay. Now, as I mentioned, I'm still learning this map, so there may be a shortcut to my field around here somewhere. That's not my field. That's not my field. This may be my field, but I don't think I prepped it. The field I'm looking for is field number 14 on the map. It's kind of an odd shape, but I think it'll serve us. Now, field 14 is not the one we are going to. This is our field 2, by the way. Field 15. It's all in grass right now, but this is where I'm hoping to do potatoes, if it comes to that. For now, we're just going to go right through it, because That's a low priority. Like I said, we can always just get pallets of potatoes. So I think I'm going to start by the furthest field. This is one of our fields too, nicely fertilized. I believe this one will either be corn or sunflower. Either or. We own the field on the other side over there. And we own this field over here. This is the one you guys saw me fertilize yesterday with the old tree in the middle of it. So this is how we're going to start. Now this is a non-reversible plow. So I have a choice. I can either keep coming back to the start and restart my rows every time, or I can just counterplow things and smooth things out with the cultivator afterwards. Oh yeah, we need to buy a cultivator too, by the way. I haven't quite figured that one out. Okay, let's go. Just follow the edge of the field. So between plowing and cultivating, we will do one more pass of fertilization. I'm thinking it's going to be spray fertilization. I have a nice old sprayer that I'm looking at. Don't know if it'll work, but it's like everything else. It's going to take us a half a day just to do the spraying of the fertilization. So right now on a 9-day season, running at 5 times speed. We have a couple of days of hard work ahead of us, but I think it's quite doable. Now the trick is that right now we have a $100,000 loan. If the bank can give us a couple more $100,000 just to keep us afloat until our herd matures for sale, we may be able to pull this off. I don't know. I don't know how far they're going to pull our credit, so that's always the big question. No, not the biggest plow in the world, but we just need to get this done. The only reason I'm plowing is because it'll increase our crop by 10%. And you may think 4 days of work for 10% is not a whole lot, but I seriously cannot afford to waste any of it. I need every box ticked, and I need maximum production on absolutely everything for this experiment to be valid to me anyway. I need to give it maximum effort and maximum work and give it every chance of working. So if that means that I need to plow for 3 days, it means that I have to plow for 3 days. And I'm thinking this field alone is going to be a bit of a chore. But, like I said, I can't afford the labor costs around here. So we'll have to just get her done. All right, well, I don't think you guys are going to stick around for 20 more minutes of this. So I'm going to get to work. This may take me a few days to do, so you'll have to be patient with me with the pace of the episodes that come out. I promised I will get it done, but it'll take a while, for sure. For me, it's not a big deal. I really enjoy this kind of work. It's going to be a very interesting couple of days for me. I'm guessing in terms of real time, it's going to cost me about 2 to 3 hours a day worth of work. But if it means that I can get all this stuff done and that it looks good and that it's productive and it moves us forward on our test, then so be it. This is what I mean by sometimes just the joy of the work is reward enough. And when it comes to plowing, I think I could do it for 9 hours. Let's see. Oops, missed a few spots there. I'll have to get those eventually or just ignore them and cultivate them. Either way, perfectly fine. Oh, and one more thing. I'm going to put Farmer Klein's review of the pig production placeable just in the tag of this video. Let me know what you think of it. Do you think that's the way we should go? So on that note, you guys have yourselves a wonderful day. I'm going to press on with my little experiment, and I will catch up to you guys when it's time to spray and cultivate. You have yourselves a great day.